As a country, we have witnessed disturbing incidents, fires, destruction of properties, school closures, and it has left the community at large asking what is happening to our children. So others are blaming the children, others are blaming teachers, others are blaming parents. But as a psychologist that supports women who are navigating motherhood, our children are part of us. And I would like to urge everyone to dig deep and ask a more deeper question, and that is what is happening to the entire system surrounding our children, because children do not grow up in isolation. They grow up within families, they grow up within communities, they grow up within schools. And let me be clear, understanding behavior is not the same as excusing behavior. Destruction of property is wrong. Creating and starting a fire is wrong. Risking lives is also wrong. And young adults should be held accountable. But if we stop at only punishment, we risk missing out on the major points, and we risk finding out what is the underlying behavior that is causing our children to act this way. And so today I'd like to look at the psychological state of these three people: the children, the parents, and the teachers, as one interconnected system. And so let's begin with the child, because the child is the major person in this whole thing. So children of today, they carry far more than just school bags or whatever bags they go with to their schools. They carry social media pressure, they carry different family dynamics, they carry the uncertainty of the future, and sometimes they carry a lot. And all of these things that they carry sums up into emotional pressure. And when emotional pressure builds up without a healthy way of expressing it, it just does not disappear, but it shows up through our behavior. And what adults call defiance, it is an emotional overload. And sometimes what adults call disrespect, it is just a child feeling unheard. And so let's dive to the second person, which is the parents. And we can say that parents are exhausted. Parents are exhausted due to financial responsibilities. They're exhausted due to work demands. And they're exhausted due to the constant rise of the cost of living. And when people are exhausted, they operate in survival mode. And once people are operating in survival mode, the emotional connection becomes the first casualty. Not because parents do not love their children, but parents are just tired. And when they're tired, connecting becomes instructions, conversation becomes lecturing, and presence becomes provision. So children might have school fees, might have clothes, might have food, might live in the best houses, but still, they will still feel lonely. And we look at our last but not least set of people, which are our teachers. Our teachers are carrying overwhelming workloads. They are expected to mentor, they are expected to guide, they are expected to teach, and sadly, most of the time, they're even expected to parent, and they experience burnout. They also experience large numbers of students with different behaviors among children. And when a teacher is overwhelmed, there is no emotional connection between the teacher and the student. And so you find that an overwhelmed teacher would mean that the teacher himself or herself has less patience to deal with a child with an emotional problem, less concern to a quiet child, or less attention to seeing a child among the many who has problems among them. And so I would like us to focus on the bigger picture. When we zoom in between these three people, the child, the teacher, and the parent, there's a lot of pressure going on. The children are under pressure, the teachers are under pressure, the parents are under pressure, the community at large is under pressure. And when there's a community that is under pressure, the system collapses, and the first casualty is relationships. And when there's a pressure in relationship, that means that relationships, first of all, are the solid grounds of where risky behaviors can be controlled. And so when all of this, and when humans are under pressure, then relationships are bound to be. And remember that relationships are one of the most protective ways against risky behaviors. And when we look at kids, kids are less likely to destroy environments where they feel safe, where they feel heard, and where they feel protected. And even as we continue to dive deeper into all this, we are forced to look at the cracks that are going within our society. And we see that kids are emotionally under pressure. Adults are also emotionally under pressure, but yet we still continue to prioritize results over relationship, performance over protectiveness. We still strive to maintain performance in schools. And so even as we look at this, we would like to note that teachers, we teach our children maths, we teach our children English, all these subjects, but yet nobody teaches a kid how to identify anger, how to regulate their frustrations, how to communicate problems. And sadly, when emotions have no language, they find their way into behavior. And so the answer is not gentle parenting. The answer is not harsh punishment. The answer is not blaming teachers or children. The answer is rebuilding connection. Kids need to feel safe. They need to feel safer in schools. They need to feel there's a connection at home. And kids need to feel like there's a community whereby the emotional health, the mental health is taken very seriously. So let's stop asking what is wrong with our children, and let's start asking what are the experiences that are shaping our children. Normally, behaviors are what is seen, but behaviors are also a message that is being passed. So let us look beyond the flames and start looking at the emotional needs of our children and how we can create a safer environment for them. And looking beyond the behavior, that means that we are focusing on the emotional needs of each and every person, the community, the parents, the teachers, and accountability matters. Do not get me wrong, accountability matters, but prevention begins with understanding. So thank you so much for tuning in today, and see you on the next one.